Alright everybody, today we're going to try feeding Butterbean some small Ramshorn snails. He's a little bit agitated at me at the moment. I was just in there and I was wiping the front glass down so we could shoot this video, and he was not happy at all. He actually thrashed around and darted around so much that he got himself wedged in the back behind the heater. I actually had to pull the heater off its suction cup to allow him to swim free. So I don't know once I stick these snails in here whether he's going to come after them or not. It'll just more or less depend on whether he sees me do it or not. So those are the snails we're going to use. And he definitely saw me put them in there. Well, that didn't take him long to find them. It's possible he was fussing around with me, and I've never seen him so agitated with me putting my hands in the tank. I never did feed them this morning. I came down here, turned the lights on, I ran right back out, and then I came down a couple hours later. I shot an Around the World video, Around the World update, and then I never did feed them. I never got back to getting down here. So this is his first real meal of the day, so perhaps he was just agitated that I hadn't fed him yet. I wonder if he's going to get that cyanobacteria off his face. Two at once. Good job. For as cute and adorable as they are, I always say this, it's amazing how vicious and aggressive these fish can be. And figure 8 puffers, from what I understand, I'm certainly no expert on puffer. I used to have some Malabar dwarf pea puffers a long time ago. They were amongst some of the first fish I owned, and that was the first experience I ever had with a defective aquarium. The aquarium leaked out overnight. I came down in the morning one day and both my puffers were dead. But that was my first experience with puffers, and I hesitated a long time because I knew these figure 8s need brackish water, and I was reluctant to set up a brackish tank. So I finally made the plunge and set up the brackish tank specifically for the purposes of being able to keep one of these figure 8s. They're just amazing fish. I'll love them to death. But from what I understand, figure 8s are fairly non-aggressive. They're pretty relaxed for puffer standards. And yet even Butterbean, as docile as he is, and he really does seem to be docile, most of these people have a difficult time keeping them in a tank with other fish like live bears, guppies, platies, mollies, anything like that. And I actually had a bunch of those in this tank with him. Not a bunch, but I had a couple of mollies, a swordtail, and a rainbow fish, and they stressed him out. Just the motion and darting and dashing around the tank was more than he cared for, and as a result I actually wound up taking them out of the tank and allowing it just to be the puffer and the gobies in there. Most cases, or a lot of cases I should say, the puffer would have been taking chunks out of those live bears, and Butterbean never really did. He seemed more scared of them than they were of him by any means. So I just think he's a really mild-mannered puffer. And even, even considering that, if you watch the way he goes after those snails and you watch how aggressively he eats, and they've got those little tooth plates that are like mechanical shears, and they just crush through shells like they're crackers. It's really amazing, really neat watching them eat. Really neat little animals. So if you're up for the minor challenge of setting up a brackish tank, it's not really that daunting at all. Go ahead and do it. It's totally worth it. I know these are often sold as freshwater fish and are kept in freshwater. They can live in freshwater for a while, but they really do need to be kept in brackish water for their long-term health. It's only low-end brackish. It's not really complicated. It's not terribly difficult to do. The only issue I ever have with this brackish tank is all this red slime cyanobacteria, which only seems to be in tanks that have the marine salts in them. I used to have that stuff in my tanks when I had a marine tank. Back in the day, I would get this red slime in there as well. I never really seemed to have an issue with it in any of my fresh tanks. So I think it's got something to do with the salt water. again, that would be the only thing that I would raise a warning flag as far as if anyone was interested in setting up a brackish tank or thinking about a brackish tank. Otherwise, it's not that big a deal at all, and it's not real challenging. Anyway, I guess that's about all we're going to get as far as the show goes. So stay tuned, subscribe. That way you won't get any, or you won't miss anything I got coming up. I shoot a lot of off-the-cuff random videos like this, but I also do a lot of more thought-out, more planned videos. So if you're subscribed, you won't miss any of them. So thanks again for watching this one, and I will see you real soon on the next one.